All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Extra Innings Podcast with me and Jake. We're back again. We had a little bit of a delay with opening week. We wanted to do what we planned Friday, but we didn't do Friday, right? I think that's what it
Yeah, we
was.
planned Friday. You had something that night, and then we
Yeah,
planned Saturday, and then I
and then
had
you had
something
something
during
to
the
do.
day.
Yeah, and
So
then Sundays are dedicated to baseball and golf. And now we're here Monday. A lot's happened, I think.
I think it's actually, a good thing that we waited because now we have more stuff to talk about. Today
That's
had
true.
a
That's
really
true.
big headline. So,
More for you. It doesn't really affect me that much, but it affects you very much. And we'll get to
yeah,
that. We'll get to that, right? But to start it off, because we have quite a few topics today, is this thing that's sweeping. Apparently, even people like CNN are talking about these torpedo bats. I don't know why CNN has a hand in these torpedo bats, but if you haven't heard about the torpedo bats, the Yankees busted out these. The news broke, right, that the Yankees busted out these torpedo bats. Though they've been around now for probably 2 years, I read 2 years they've been out. Select
yes.
players using them here and there. But apparently the Yankees were using them. And you know what's funny is that there were like only two guys using them, but it was like Bellinger, Goldschmidt, Volpe, Wells, like a bunch of them did. Judge didn't, which was the big one. And it really became this big thing because the Yankees put up, I don't know, 30 runs in 2 days apparently or something like that. Which
Football scoring.
they absolutely put a fucking ass whooping on the Brewers on Saturday and Sunday. And it was like just home run derby. So what's your take on these bats?
Yeah, I don't see any issue with it. I think
Me
people
either.
are really jumping the gun, both positive and negative, right? I
Yep.
think it goes both ways. It's way too small of a sample size to think that this is going to drastically change the game. We need to see a lot more data. I mean, it's
So I'm
been out
listening.
for,
I found an article, but keep going.
yeah, go ahead. I mean,
No, keep going. I'm looking for the article. I had one earlier.
gotcha. The guy was with the Marlins, this MIT physicist. He was with the
Right.
Marlins. He
Right.
developed it. Now he's with the Yankees. Like you said, it's been around longer than people realize. It's just now it's a headline. The
Yeah.
Yankees, right?
So
Optics.
that's what
So
upset me. And I said it yesterday. The minute it happened, you saw me like the bats, and I'm like, dude, they can't. It's legal. Like if they put it in the game, the Yankees aren't stupid enough to put something that hasn't been thoroughly vetted and researched before they're just going to be like, hey, go out there and use it and like potentially forfeit a game because they use something illegal. It just wasn't going to happen. There's no way.
yeah, I think people don't realize too. There's so much that goes into the rules of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
It has the most rules of any sport I've ever looked at. I don't think there's a
Oh, yeah.
sport that has more rules than baseball. And
And we have
that,
unwritten rules. There's unwritten rules in
yes,
baseball too. Isn't that
yes.
crazy?
Yep. But so before every game, people don't realize this. There's an equipment check. There's an
Mm-hmm.
umpire
Mm-hmm.
that's part of the crew. And I can't remember the exact specifics, but I think each player that's a hitter has to submit two bats
Yeah,
for
something like
review.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so
Mm-hmm.
that umpire will check those two bats. And if you somehow break both of them, I don't think you can use another one. You have to use a team bat.
Use a
Maybe they
team.
allow.
No, you
Yeah.
use a teammate sometimes because I've seen there was a game last year where Jazz had to use Judge's bat at one
Yeah.
point.
So
Yeah.
you get two submissions, and then if they approve it, you're good to go. And then all the bats that are approved go into the cubby, and everyone thinks
Mm-hmm.
that's just where the bats go. If
No,
anybody brings a
because they've been
different bat
checked.
in
Yeah.
there, and it's happened before, a bat boy put a different bat in there, and a player got ejected. So it's like you can't put anything in there that hasn't been approved. So people are like, how does this play out? Like, how is this allowed? Come on, y'all. It's
Yeah.
the most written thing in all of sports as far as rules go. Baseball covers all your bases.
All your tracks. So listen, so I was mad because the minute, dude, I went to go run on the game on Saturday and I came back and Hannah was like, dude, they're just having it's just like a home run derby. And I was like, no way. And then I rewinded and I saw the pitches from Nestor, right? And it was like boom, boom, boom. And everyone's like, oh my God, it's the bats. If anyone goes back and sees those pitches, bro, they're right down me and you could have probably hit them, bro. It's right down the dick at like
They're
91.
over the plate.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
it was like batting practice. So I was like, okay, that's the first thing. But everyone's like, oh, the Yankees. Of course, it's the Yankees. Of course, right?
so we talked about it last episode, the throwing not pitching syndrome, right? Where
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
guys just throw whatever they got,
Yeah.
and it is what it is. Pitching is all about hitting corners, getting guys
Yeah,
off
yeah.
rhythm,
Oh, yeah.
messing with people in the box, mind games, all spinning stuff at the right time, all that stuff. There's so many layers to it.
Yeah.
These Milwaukee Brewers pitchers really
They're
upset
bad,
me.
bro. Not that they're bad.
I don't want to.
I don't know. I don't know how to say it.
I don't want to
Maybe
say
you have a
they're
better way to
bad.
say it.
I'm going to be the harshest I've been so far on the podcast. So like, I think if you listen to the 2 episodes I'm on, these guys are human. They're players. I don't want to disrespect them. They're at the
No, yeah,
biggest
yeah,
level. If something deserves disrespect, like Julio Urias, hell yeah, right?
yeah.
But look, these pitchers are soft. They're soft for their comments, saying like, how can it be allowed? It's not
Oh,
fair.
you saw that too, right? Okay, okay,
Yeah,
good, good, good,
like,
good, good.
guy, dude, you're getting paid hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars to throw a baseball, to play a child's game. All right.
Mhm.
Shut up and do your job. Like, these guys are hitters, and
Yeah.
hitting has been down for 7 years, 7 or 8 years, every year,
Yep.
except for the Mickey Mouse season, the COVID season.
Yeah.
So if hitting is down and pitching has been so successful and you get shelled for 2 games, you can't just blame the bat, dude. You got to look in the
Yeah.
mirror.
You know what's funny? It was that one guy who pitched. He was a reliever. Came in. He got hit 2 bombs hit off him right in the array of all of them that went out right. And he was like, "But it's the Yankees, so they're gonna let it pass." So I don't want to cut you off, but I wanted to say this before I lose it. Before I lose it on my phone. There on that day specifically, there's an article that went out of all the people using it, and people are going to be surprised because he was like, "It's just the Yankees. Nobody's going to do shit because it's the
It's
fucking
not
Yankees."
just the
It's not
Yankees.
true. There's Francisco Lindor, torpedo bat. Volpe, okay. I don't know who this guy is. Somebody for the Rays, obviously. Jazz, Nico Horner for the Cubs. Some dude for the Minnesota Twins. Diaz from the Rays. Adley Rutschman, who went yard on opening day, and that's it. But point I'm saying is like everyone wanted to shit on the Yankees, and I'm like, but like then that's what the Brewers made it seem like they were all cheaters. I'm like, it's not the case. Get your facts straight.
It's ridiculous. I expected more from competitors. I
Mm-hmm.
think you and I have a very similar vibe on the competition
Yeah,
aspect.
yeah,
If you get me, you get me, and I'm going to get
right,
you next time, right?
sure.
Or I could have done better, or I could have done more. Like yesterday, we had a game. I had an opportunity to get driving a run on third with less than 2 outs, and I didn't. I didn't blame anybody but myself for that, right? Like, it's how it goes. So those pitchers came off really soft to me. Also, it's opening weekend. Everybody's
Mhm.
amped up.
Everybody's
So
amped up, ready to go, fresh. They're
yeah,
not hurting yet. Yeah.
yeah, hitters are going to be locked in, ready to go, and
Mm-hmm.
the Yankees just had that pop off for them. Like,
Oh yeah.
typically you see a few guys in the lineup that hit a strong start. They were just out the gate strong, the
Oh dude.
whole lineup.
So let
So,
me
and
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Oh, you saw what they did on Saturday, right? You saw what they did. Do you think? And I was listening to Ryan before we go there. Ryan Dempster, you know Ryan Dempster, legend. He pitched all over the place. He
oh
was
yeah,
the one that trashed the Brewers. And he's like, they're just bad pitchers. But we'll move away from that.
thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, he got you. Do you think him and that guy? Who's that guy? Who's on? He's on high heat, not high heat. Whatever his show is on MLB, it's him and the other guy. Played for Boston. The wild guy. He played third base. What is his name?
Kevin Youkilis,
He's got the little goatee.
and he played for Boston.
Yeah, during the '04
What?
run.
Kevin Millar, but he played first base. He played first base,
First
not third.
base, not third base.
Yeah,
Millar. Yeah, Millar was also like, yeah, this is not new, whatever. Do you think that this is too much, too fast, and the Yankees can't sustain this success that they've had over the last 3 days?
there's no way it's going to be sustainable. A player like Judge, you could argue, might
Judge
sustain it.
might. Judge might
Yeah,
keep it going. Yeah.
but as a team, look, there's a reason that there's superstars
Mhm.
and like all stars, and then just your everyday players. Like, I'm sorry, over the course of 162, Deion Sanders said it right. That
Yeah.
baseball does some weird stuff to you,
Yeah,
right?
dude.
That there's
Tough.
nothing harder than hitting a baseball. And a bat can give you a mental edge. It can even maybe give you a little bit of a physical edge, but
Hmm.
it's not going to stop you from missing a pitch. It's
Hmm.
not going to stop you from swinging out your shoes on a slider in the dirt. It's not going to stop you from getting got with 2 strikes, right? Um, you look at a lot of those counts too. I did not, but I bet you if you look at a lot of those counts, probably hitters counts are even
Absolutely.
balls,
They
even
all are. Oh
strikes.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, it's gonna, I think
It'll
when it's
even out.
all,
It'll even
yeah,
out. It'll even out.
when it's all said and done, we may see an edge to it, but not a drastic one like people are thinking.
No, well, Volpe already said he's like it made like, and that's the thing. Like, at least the guys that are on the Yankees are like, I mean, maybe it gives us an edge, maybe it doesn't. He's like, it's probably honestly a placebo effect. Like, they're even saying it, like it's just in your head. Like, oh, it feels smoother. It's giving you a mental edge, maybe, but nothing too crazy. But moving away from the Yankees, obviously, well, not yet. because your boy Fried had his first start on Saturday, and it didn't go that bad, but the defense, bro, is a problem already. We're 3 days into the season. The one thing that I thought they were going to fix, they had 5, not 6. They had 5 errors, 5 defensive errors, just brutal. And you know what the funny thing was? They had 2 of the one that haunted them in Game 5, just with a different first baseman. Same shit, ground ball to first baseman, and no one's there. No one's there, bro. I don't understand how this is like the most fundamental part of the game, and these guys with one of the biggest payrolls cannot figure out how to just play defense.
So
It floors me, bro.
you said there was no one there. Was it Max Fried on the mound when that happened?
Fried had one. No, Fried
Mhm.
had one, and then the next day it was with Stroman. Both with Goldschmidt, I think.
Okay, so and Fried didn't cover first base. I'm just getting the context there because I saw the stat line. So that's interesting because Fried is an all-star pitcher, or not
Gold
all-star,
glove.
Gold
Gold
Glove
glove.
pitcher.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
Gold Glove pitcher.
Yeah.
Why is he suddenly not covering first base with the Yankees? That should raise
Something
your eyebrows. What are they not
something in the
working
water.
on?
Something in the
Well,
water, bro. I don't
what
know.
are they not working on, or what are they not drilling enough
Dude, seriously.
together? Spring training.
PSA, dude.
That's what spring training's for, man. These guys show up to the ballpark hours in advance. What drills are they doing?
There's honestly
Gotta
no
re-
footage besides infield taking like ground balls. I saw that because they mic'd up a couple guys and they gave us that, but like not it's just like regular in and out. It wasn't anything like specific, which is kind of embarrassing.
Gotcha. But not to focus on that. That's just me raising the question mark a little bit, right? About maybe it's an organizational problem. Fried is now going to have to, accept his fate. His whole career he's played with a top 5, arguably a top 5 defense behind him. And you would think with Goldschmidt, former Gold Glover, Bellinger, also Gold
Volpe,
Glover,
Gold Glover,
Volpe,
Jazz,
yeah.
Gold Glove, all these guys.
You would think Fried probably looked at that and said, "I'll be good," and then first starts, what was it, 5 or 6 errors?
Yeah, 5 errors.
Yeah,
5 errors.
5 errors, 6, and I think it was 6 runs, 1 earned, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it says Volpe committed 1, Fried committed 1, Jazz committed 1, and Pablo Reyes all of them, but Reyes logged 2. So it was 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's I guess 6, but one of them may have been like a mental error, which I think technically it's a hit if they right. Because if there was only 5 total, I mean you can give a mental error to Fried, but that's technically a hit because it was a clean play. It just nobody showed up.
Yeah.
So,
Like since everyone listening probably saw it, the World Series play where Garrett
right.
Cole didn't cover, that's
bro.
a hit. It's a hit though,
I know.
because it just goes as an infield hit. No one covered the bag, right?
Yeah, it's just pain, dude. You're just making me relive pain. I can see it. But we'll
Hey,
move on.
I got plenty of pain right now, so
Hopefully they'll figure it out. They have to. There's no way they're gonna make it to the same spot if they don't figure out how to play defense, bro. That's just huge. So we're gonna talk about injuries, but there's not really that many around the league that's like notable right now. Good thing, right? You don't want people hurt, right? It makes the game
especially
less fun.
4 games in.
Dude, seriously. But last time we talked about Mookie and his weird illness thing, and no one ever really, honestly, I don't think they ever like really figured it out. It kind of just went away on its own, I guess. I told
Did
you I
it?
thought it did. I mean, he's fine, right? He's playing, he's eating. He's fine.
Did they say he's eating? I haven't followed up, I guess, but
they said right before opening day, like on Wednesday, coincidentally, he was like, "Oh, I ate something and I didn't throw up. It's great." I'm like, "Okay, well, I guess he's fine." Slowly but surely, right? Magically, it's probably some storyline they're trying to build up over there. I hate the Dodgers, but Mookie had himself a 2 home run day after like not playing baseball for weeks on end. So, what do you think about that? Do you think that this might be something that I think it honestly? I think it's in his head, bro. Honestly, I really think it was something that was mental, that he maybe had something going on because he's batting 500 right now. I really thought the whole thing, like, it just seemed weird. It seemed strange. And, like, obviously they may not have needed him in Japan because they're playing the Cubs. No offense to the Cubs, are just not that strong a team. They're still figuring it out. They didn't really need him. But now he's batting 500 with 2 bombs, 4 RBIs, 4 hits, 4 scored runs. That's a pretty solid stat line for a guy that missed almost 3 weeks leading up to the season with this mystery bug and lost 20 pounds. So what do you think?
yeah, I think it's awesome that he played and that he performed well. And he looked really happy when he hit those home runs too. Like
he was pumped. Yeah.
Yeah, he had some like almost playoff type energy.
Mhm.
But what I just worry that it's not, again, like the torpedo bats. It's a very small sample size. We got to
Yeah, yeah,
see.
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to see how he does at game 50, game
Right,
60.
right.
How's he looking then? Because
What?
losing that
Well,
amount of weight,
yeah. I mean, he kind of just went off on the 28th because if you look at the game before, the day before, he had 3 at bats and only got 1 hit, and he walked. So nothing
that,
crazy. Maybe he just had a game.
that's a
I
good
don't
day.
know.
I mean, that's still a good day. 1 for
Oh
3 with
yeah,
a walk. Yeah.
yeah, it's not bad.
But yeah, I told you before we started recording that I worry looking at those home runs, it's still a home run, right? They
Right.
barely covered the
Yeah, they were
fence.
not
They were
moonshots.
they weren't like balls that off the bat you thought like, oh, monster shot. It's just like, oh, it's gone. It went. It carried.
Right.
I worry that at game 50, those balls are going to be outs at the warning track.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and the reason I say that is, again, you got to understand. Same thing with the Yankees and these torpedo bats. Opening day, you're fresh. Opening
Juice.
weekend,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. My body feels great. Game 50, game 60, game 100, you're just like, I gotta survive. I gotta survive. Everything hurts.
Yeah.
Something somewhere hurts.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna have days where the bat feels like absolute dog, in your
Yeah. No, I
hands.
get you. Hmm.
And some of the great ones will tell you it's like, how do I learn how to compete when the bat doesn't feel right or my swing doesn't feel right? Um, it's going to happen to everybody, even the better players.
Yeah.
So without that extra 20 pounds, maybe he gains it back really quick because I'm hoping like water weight, things
Hmm.
like that.
Hmm.
But I'm just saying, like, I'm just holding the phone on that. I hope
Yeah.
nothing but the best for Mookie, though. Love
Oh,
that
yeah.
guy.
I
Yeah.
like he's a competitor, dude. He's one of the few. I say I hate the Dodgers. Let me backtrack. Let me take my foot out of my mouth for a second, right? So I think there's a select few of them who are a little too cocky for my liking. I think Shohei's overplayed, though he is one of the greatest to ever do it already. I'll give him that. I just think it's too much because there are a lot of other players willing or that would deserve that spotlight. So I think it's just overplayed a little bit too much, in my opinion. So I kind of have and then obviously they beat my Yankees in the World Series, so there's just like an automatic hate for them, like deep down in my core. But again, great ball. There's a lot of great ball players. I'm a huge fan of like Glass now. I love watching Glass now, though he's, like I've said it before, he's made a Glass. There's Freddie Freeman's obviously a guy that everyone can get behind. There's a lot of guys there, right? There's a lot of guys that you like to watch play that make the game fun. Mookie's one of them. So like obviously we're rooting for him to be all right, and we're hoping that he's gonna ease into this transition. Though I'm sure that's taking a toll. It took a massive toll on his body for you to lose 15 pounds, that fast, that quick, right? So I just thought it was crazy. I was like, he missed all this time, and all of a sudden he's dropping 2 bombs in a game. It's kind of like, did this guy just like not play for weeks? So I don't
He's
know. It was a little
as of
shocking.
now, he's a future Hall of Famer,
He will
right?
be. He
So,
will be. We're
yeah.
watching a lot of those, right? So we'll put the Dodgers. The Dodgers have enough airtime. We're done talking about the Dodgers, right? Now we'll talk about what's hurting your heart, bro. It's time. We gotta talk about it. So the Braves. Now, okay. So if anybody didn't know, Jurickson Profar, as of like literally like 4 hours ago, maybe even less, was caught with a performance enhancing drug. We don't. What is it? HCG? Is that what it's called?
Hotel Charlie Gamma,
It's got a
HCG.
it's got a name that we're not even gonna attempt to pronounce because it's some scientific compound that he got his hands on. We saw that it looks like it's mostly meant for women, but it can boost testosterone in guys. So yes, it would technically, if it's a foreign substance or something that's coming into your body and producing external testosterone, it's already automatically you're done, you're banned. It's performance enhancing, and he's looking at an 80 game suspension, so he won't be here till July, from what I heard, at the earliest. Banned and pending anything else happens, right? So he's looking at the earliest he'll be back in July. I was listening to I like I said before, I listen to MLB Network all day. I probably listen to it more than I listen to people at work, but that's what I listen to all day. A lot of analysts, bro, and I'll take your opinion, but I just want to let you know what the pros are saying is that they don't think they make it without him. Like there's just nothing that's going to happen with all the injuries they're dealing with. No Spencer Strider, a lot of other guys that are on the mend trying to figure it out. Whatever. They don't think that the Braves make it much further without Jurickson, so that there is more than likely going to be a trade. Or obviously Verdugo comes up. He's going to have to at this point. Verdugo will come up, and I don't know what you really expect out of that guy. But I heard a lot of trade rumors that are going back to Luis Robert from the White Sox. So, Mr. Braves fan, what do you think?
Well, So when the rumors were speculating or are circulating earlier, the Braves made a move that kind of solidified the rumor was true. They got Stuart Fairchild from the Reds.
There it is. Okay.
He's 28 years old. I think I don't know if this is 28 or 29-year-old season.
What's the name?
I mean, Stuart Fairchild. Did I get that right?
Fairchild. We can find out. Stuart Fairchild. Yeah, young guy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, a similar type
29
vibe
years old.
to,
You had it right. 29.
yeah, he's a similar vibe to Kelnick, right? Just hasn't really progressed to a point where people wanted him to. And so Cincinnati seems to be done with him. And maybe
Did
Atlanta
they
can,
did they cut him?
they just traded him to Atlanta today for cash
So,
considerations.
so he got drafted in 17, second round overall, 38 overall pick. So he was touted pretty high. Looks like he hasn't really played a whole lot. 21, he made his with Arizona. Is that who he got drafted to? No, he got drafted by the Reds. AZ. That's weird. And anyway, in 22, he played for three teams: Seattle, San Francisco, and Cincinnati. I guess they let him go, got him back. I don't know. That seems something's going on here with this early stat line. I'm not sure. Then he goes. So he's been with Cincinnati since 22. In 22, he batted 279, but only had like 38 games played, 86 at bats. So kind of a sample size. 23, 97 at bats, so he about doubled it, and he went down to 228. Not great. And then last year he batted 215 and only had 200 at bats. So yeah, you're right. I think for as high as he was picked, he was probably touted to do more. So maybe the Braves is where he lands, and maybe he'll be all right. Maybe he's like your Jesse Chavez, bro. He can't perform anywhere else, but you put him in a Braves uniform, and he'll he'll turn
You,
into somebody else.
you never know. I really like the trade just in the interim until maybe a bigger move is made. But I'm going to tell you this for everyone speculating, MLB Network speculating. I've watched the Braves pretty much my whole life since I was 7 years old, and I've watched Alex Anthopoulos since he took over as GM. I
Mm-hmm.
don't see him being the type of guy to make any move at all outside
Not
of
right.
this one.
I agree too,
I,
and I thought the same thing. I was like, "There's
yeah,
not right now,
it.
not right now,
Well, I want you to look at their off season. How many moves did the Braves make in the off season?
not many, not many, zero, one."
One.
You
Profar.
can't you got to throw in and they did Verdugo too. They got Verdugo, whatever you want to call that.
Yeah, that I think that was a coin flip, right? And that move now you need to look at, did they know that this was a possibility, right?
But they
I
started okay, so I hear that, right? But at the same time, if they knew, they would have put Verdugo on the big league roster off the bat. They optioned him immediately.
well,
And
yeah, but
honestly, I guess there's got to be some beef. Why they would get Verdugo and not go to him first is kind of strange to me.
well, I think he needs time. He hasn't had any baseball
True.
activities. Yeah.
That's you know what, you're right. I forgot
Yeah.
about that. I forgot he didn't sign for God knows how
Yeah,
long.
there was
Maybe
no
that's why they
baseball
optioned him.
activities until a week ago
Fair.
pretty much.
Didn't even think
So,
about that.
yeah, it does raise again that phrase raising the eyebrows a little bit. We'll never
Mhm.
know, but
Mhm.
did the Braves catch on that there's something that we might get smacked for and we need to have Verdugo now, right? Because the only move Anthopoulos made, and talking with my dad about it because we both love the Braves, I told him that my assumption on Anthopoulos was that he basically saw how last year went. Everybody got hurt.
Yeah.
Everything he built didn't matter because they got hurt, and they still made the playoffs, right? Unbelievable. If you really look at that season, that it's unreal that the Braves still made it with
Mhm.
everything they had to put up with last year. You're talking about five of your starting lineup, your starting nine out for 50 plus each,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's no other. I'm sorry. I don't think any other team last year could have handled that. The pitching staff really carried. Awesome job.
Mhm.
But so I think Anthopoulos kind of took a step back and said, okay, ticket prices were down because they did not have as many fans in the stands last year from the games I
No.
watched. And
Which is
why?
strange, bro.
Well, there wasn't
That's how
it was hard watching those games, man. It would be like a 2-run game and the Braves couldn't even score one, right? Or the Braves would squeak out a 1-0 victory. It was like the offense was so bad. And let's face it, offense is really what puts your fans' butts in the seats.
Mhm.
So I think he looked at it and said, I don't have as much money as people think I have to spend this year. They already have a top 7 payroll, I believe. It might be higher than that.
Is it that high? Who the fuck are
Yeah,
they paying?
look at the top payrolls while I'm finishing what I'm going to say here,
What are
but
they paying?
they're paying a lot of guys. They have a lot of team friendly contracts, but it stacks up if you're paying multiple of those, right?
Yeah,
Um, I think he basically said, I'm going to see what I got. I'll go get Profar. He got
you guys are
Profar.
206 million.
There you go, 7. So I think he got Profar and was like, that. I thought that was a really good deal. The amount, the AAV for 3 years after a career year, I thought it was a steal. And I think he was basically saying, at the All-Star break, if we are first or second, maybe even third with a close line of sight, then I'll really put the hammer down, right? And look what's happened. Oh, 4 games in, the one guy he signed gets busted for PEDs. The bullpen looks a mess, right? The offense went 1 for 23 over the first 3 games with runners in scoring position. I think he's basically sitting there saying, I can't risk trying to go get anybody else. These guys
Can't.
are
Yeah.
good. They're even without Profar, these guys are good enough to win
Hmm.
by the All-Star break. They're good enough to be in second place. That may not happen, but they're definitely good enough to be in third place. And I'm talking about in the East, not overall,
But yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
But in the East, right? And
Have you seen some of the? Go ahead.
if you're third place in the East and then you have a good trade deadline, sky's the limit, right?
True.
So
True.
the Phillies looked like the best team in all of baseball in the first half last year, and then the
Hmm.
second half they did.
The last 2 years that's happened.
Yeah,
Last 2 years.
who was the best team in the second half? The New York Mets,
Hmm.
right? So
It's that
I mean,
grimace, bro. The
it's
grimace
a
curse.
it's such a long season. For all the Braves fans that listen, if there are any, don't panic yet. It doesn't look good, I'll give you that. But let Bobby Cox, and it's perfect that it's Bobby Cox who said it. June, you got to wait till June to figure out
Yeah.
where you really stand.
That's
So
that's what I've been saying to people because, like, obviously, I told you the other day, you're like, it's all over, and I'm like, it's the
I
third
said that
day,
to make
bro.
a joke.
Yeah, I know, I know.
Uh,
But it's funny
yeah,
because, like, I always like everyone's like, oh, the Yankees. Like, I have friends that are like very like casual watchers, and they're like, oh, the Yankees this, and I'm like, I'm not even like, it's great, but I'm not even gonna. Doesn't
well,
mean shit
what's
right now. And it was the Brewers too, so I was like, I'm not even gonna. Not even. I'm like, God's awesome. It's cool to watch. Cool to cool stats to pad, I guess. But I'm like, whatever. But I was actually aside from that, like knowing, yes, you got to make it through June. It's a long season. Anything can happen between now and September, which is when it get the last real months, June, July, the summer months are crucial, especially when standings start to matter. Right now, it's kind of you can still work some stuff out and you can figure it out, do what you're gonna do. But once June, July, like you just said, rolls around, then you got to really kick it into gear because that's when standings start, like games start to really matter, each of them, and
when
you got to start winning series.
yep, that's when the grind becomes real.
Mm-hmm.
It's when there's really the line of sight is really far away at that point, and the allure of the start of the season has massively faded, right? So like in
Yeah,
June, it's like,
you're in
oh
it.
my god,
It's not
we're
glamorous anymore.
yeah, we're in it, we're hurting. Oh, so and so's down, so and so got hurt. Just it's so crucial is right.
I didn't realize, like, bro. I'm looking at your batting average. So Ozzy Albies is batting a buck 33. Kalenic is batting a buck 54. I didn't mean to break your heart here. Riley batting a buck 43. Allen, who's playing your shortstop right now, buck or 250, not bad. Or Arcia 200. Baldwin, is Baldwin doing all your catching right now? I
He
guess
caught 3 of the 4,
he's
so
batting below 100. He's at 91.
yes. But so
Brian Dela Cruz. I don't know who that is.
this is what's beautiful about baseball, right? Is all those stats are shit.
True.
But if you
It's a
watch the
very bad
games,
size. Like pitchers too. A lot of pitchers ERAs are fucked right now, and it's like it's one
yes.
game.
But if you
Relax.
watch the games too, and this is the a beauty about baseball. Drake Baldwin had 4 hard hit balls that went for outs. One that was
Yeah.
robbed by Jackson Merrill, literally at the
Saw that.
fence.
Yeah. Saw it. Yeah.
He had 2 hit off the pitcher and go right to another fielder. Um, Austin Riley hit a ball 100 plus off the bat, and Manny Machado jumped and caught it,
Yeah.
and
That
it
was
was
that one he made. Yeah. It was a phenomenal play. Yeah.
yeah. Matt Olson hit 2 line drives to right field that Tatis caught at the wall. It's like so. It's
They'll
one of those
fall.
things.
They'll start to
Yeah,
fall.
the stats look terrible, but if you stay with those approaches that they had and keep getting those type of contacts, you're going to be successful at some point.
Yeah. Like Albies
So
will get it going. Riley will get it going. RC will get it going. Harris will get it going. Olsen will get it. Like y'all's lineup with, and I'm not even Profar's batting 200, and you just kind of eliminate him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your lineup is still good. It's not bad.
The Braves have always been a glass half full type of organization, especially in the last 8 years, right? It's kind of
Yeah.
like, okay, it is what it is. Let's next man up mentality, right? This is a huge opportunity for Michael Harris because he's going to be moved up to probably the leadoff spot. And I think that's a great spot for him. I think it really, if you saw him in September last year and in the postseason, that dude brought some energy that I rarely get to see in Atlanta. Atlanta is such a professionalism type of
It
organization. It's
is.
like
It is.
so like do it the right way. We work hard, we talk baseball. I do believe these guys really love baseball,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't see very much emotion. And 2021 was so special because you had guys like Jock Peterson, Jorge Soler, Eddie Rosario, a lot of passion, but
Yeah, a
visible
lot of
passion.
yeah,
Yeah.
different kind of player.
And so
Yeah, I agree.
that professionalism can kind of sometimes be a negative too, because like I want to see you get amped up, like, get into
Yeah,
it. Like you're 0-4, how are you going to respond tonight against the Dodgers, right?
I
So
think I think that goes so far. I think to each their own, right? I think that's some guys just don't operate that way. I think, in my opinion, like some guys are just like not like Matt Olson. I don't see that guy like trying to get hype or anything. He's just gonna kind of get in there, right? Same with Austin Riley. So I think that I see that. I think some players can do like Ozuna could probably do that. Profar was another guy who played very like animated. Got to let him go. It's one of those things. I still think, like, honest to God, like everything you said, I think like, and I was kind of being facetious saying like, oh, they're batting like shit. They played one series, like you can't like right now, like Chris Sale, like I was looking at your pitching too. Your pitching's not bad. I saw the highlights from Schwellenbach. Is that his name, Schwellenbach?
yeah, Schwellenbach,
Dude,
I
that dude
love
is
that guy.
nasty, bro.
Yeah,
That dude is nasty. He threw it. Obviously, everyone's got their one start. Starters wise, some other guys have a couple of obviously different times. Y'all have Hector Neris too. That guy throws gas. Like,
they DFA'd him today, so
no shit.
dude, look at his numbers. He's been terrible for like 2
Let's see what
years.
he's at.
He had negative WAR
Six
last year.
ERA. Oh yeah. Damn.
He fell
Damn.
off. Yeah,
45
fell off
ERA.
hard.
Used to be good. Somebody's gonna
Yeah.
pick him up.
Well, hey, for all the listeners out there, this is a key thing that happens with me too. Is like I see a name, I'm like, oh man, I remember that guy throwing nasty stuff, and then you go look at the
Yeah.
stats, and it's like my brain is stuck in 2019.
Yeah. When he
Yeah,
was with the Astros and they won a World Series with him. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I was like, Hector Neris, he throws gas, no? And then I see the ERA 40-5, bro. Jesus. He got pieced. But anyway, I mean, you're still led by Chris Sale. You'll have Strider back in a couple weeks or months, I guess. If I'm being honest, it'll be probably
my
a couple
prediction
months.
is May 4th.
May.
So the reason I say that is like that's a big weekend for baseball. And let me see, do the Braves play at home? Because if they play at home, then I'm going to solidify that as
He'll make a
my hot
homestead.
take. Yeah. Let's see, Atlanta Braves schedule.
Which I'm a huge Spencer Strider fan. Let's see if there's any news on his, because there's been a lot of footage of him throwing. Obviously, he's doing a lot of rehab starts right now in the minors. He's had 3.
This just makes my guess even more perfect. May 2nd, May 3rd, May 4th. All right. That's May the 4th be with you weekend. It's also Cinco de Mayo on May 5th. Braves are at home that weekend against the Dodgers. That's Spencer Strider's first start.
He'll come back. Damn,
think
that's a tough. I mean, sure, that's a tough one to just come back on, dude. Fuck. Well, that's a game to come back. He's nasty though. I'm looking right now at his footage right now from his minor league starts. He looks like Spencer Strider, bro.
Yeah. I mean, they may not wait that long, but I hope they do because I want to make sure that nothing's wrong.
They should not rush him. It looks like he's had 3 rehab starts. He looks like he's maxing out at 60 pitches each time. So obviously they're really not pushing him at all. Well, I mean, 60 pitches is honestly like almost like mid form, like you're about to get an opening day if you're looking at a spring training regimen, right? 60 pitches, 6 strikeouts, only 2 hits. Granted, it's AAA, but I mean, damn. Even your Brian Snicker was like, yeah, this is what we want to see.
And if this works out, like let's say he comes back in May pitches the full season without any real major issues.
Shit, bro,
That
real quick,
that
not to introduce you. They're saying MLB is saying April, early
that's
April.
yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, it's totally possible because of exactly what you're just saying. Where it's 60 games. I am throwing my hot take out there for that May weekend. I would like to see them wait. We'll see if they do or not.
Dude, bro,
Um,
why rush it? But if he's throwing 60 and he's feeling good, because it says right here that the regular time, this one, Tommy John is 12 to 18. This one is 9 to 12 months of recovery. And he is, if there's no setbacks, he only has 2 more rehab starts in Gwinnett. If there's nothing that holds him back and he's all good, they're gonna put him out there.
so that's a week and a half, right? I would
About
hope.
roughly,
Yeah.
because he threw yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 30th. Yeah, he threw yesterday, so 5 more days, probably in about 3 weeks, I'd say. That's kind of nerve wracking. I don't know, man.
Yeah. I don't like
Because
it, but I
I
mean,
would
at the
be
same
holding I
time,
would be holding Spencer Strider like this, like literally just being like, okay, what are we gonna do with this guy? Because he is
you ever seen Bubble Boy? Just wrap,
wrap him up
put,
in freaking bubble wrap and stick him out there.
yeah. Oh man. But
Well, hopefully the Braves are gonna be fine. Let's just call it for what it is. They're gonna be all right, in my opinion, at least.
I hope so. But I mean, last year I thought after the 23 season where they set all those offensive records and then they revamped the pitching, I thought 24 was going to be a magical year. And I mean, you just never know what's going to pop up over the course of a season. 5 guys getting hurt, missing 50 plus games.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll see. We'll see.
this year
Baseball's a
could
long
be
season.
just, well, yeah, this year could be a year. You never know when a team's number is up. I want you to, you said you listen to MLB Network all day.
I do.
Those guys, there were several of them back in like 2021 that predicted like World Series winners for the next 8 years, which is impossible, by the way. It's just it's a fun
Yeah,
game for them.
yeah.
But a lot of them had the Chicago White Sox in 24 and 25 being World Series contenders. Same with like Blue Jays. When the Blue Jays built up all those young Jays, they were on those lists too. What have those teams accomplished? The White Sox now are the worst team in baseball.
Hey, they've won their
There's
series.
yeah, but
They won a
yes,
series.
on paper they are the worst. Um, so I mean, you just never know when your number is going to be up, and that's why I said what I said about the Phillies. Like line of sight is so important. You only have so many chances to get there and to
Yeah,
to go for it that like you
absolutely.
can't you can't mess them up when you have a really good team and a good opportunity. So
We'll see, man. We'll see. I have faith in them. But on the other side now, so we'll move over to a team that everyone thought was going to be phenomenal. I was nervous for. The Red Sox have utterly shit themselves. This is the first series. And even going into today, I watched them play the Orioles, and they just don't look good, bro. I watched it. I watched the game they played today at 1 o'clock, or I guess 12 o'clock my time, 1 o'clock their time. Did not look good. Did not look good. And Devers. So if anyone didn't know, Devers set a strikeout record in the first series ever for a player as a DH. 12 strikeouts out of 15 at bats.
yeah,
Okay, now before we get into it, and we're gonna dig into it, I got the stats up. We're gonna look at all this. And if you didn't know, I'm gonna name off a couple things that are important here. They went out and got Alex Bregman. They went out and got Walker Buehler. They went out and got Garrett Crochet. Right, so they stacked their pitching and got some offense with Bregman. Right, and they got obviously already had some guys. They had Devers, who was Garrett Cole has nightmares about Rafael Devers. Right, all this stuff that the Red Sox have kind of built this little thing that everyone's like, hey, maybe, and then got Cora's like, well, this last year was our last year of struggle because they really had a tough year. Like we really, we feel like we solidified a lot of stuff, and on paper they did, but it's just not looking good. There was a lot of drama in the offseason with Rafael Devers being upset that they went and got Bregman because he was the all-day third baseman. And now there was a lot of drama that he was having problems with the front office and that he was going to have to maybe Bregman offered to play second, but they didn't want to because they had that Christian Campbell guy come up who's also a stud who's performed up to his I guess his hype as much as he can to that point so far. So there's a lot of just stuff going on about the Red Sox, and I did a lot of reading on the Red Sox specifically because they're really the New York's biggest, or they were going to be New York's biggest, I guess, Achilles heel. Doesn't look like it anymore. And I was listening to today, and I want to take your take on this. Do you think so? One of the Jake Peavy, I think, was the one that said it. Him or Mark Dero, whatever they call him on MLB Central, was saying that, you know, playing all day third base and batting for your entire career and then being like you're going to be a DH can really mess with your head a little bit. And I'm kind of like, because he's like, in a way, and it's hard to understand unless you've done it. He was like, because, and I can see it. In a sense, you're playing, but you're not. You know, you're in the game, but now you're just sitting and you're expected to hit. And like that's a special job that realistically only some guys can really handle. And he's like it's too early to shape it up, right? He had a tough time in spring training. He was hurt or whatever was going on there. So maybe he's just taking some time to heat up. But his at bats I watched today specifically looked really uncomfortable. Do you think that making that adjustment from playing third to just a DH is really enough to make like this big a difference? Because dude's batting 0, bro. Has not got a hit yet.
Let me ask you this to lead into my thoughts on it. So, preliminary question. What's the hardest mental sport on the planet?
It's baseball by far. By far.
Yeah, you should be answering baseball or golf, right? Like
Golf.
it's yeah,
Yeah, golf. Yeah.
yeah, right. But in golf, you're not facing an opponent; you're facing yourself.
Right.
So
Yeah, you're beating
baseball, as
yourself.
far
Yeah.
as like a team sport against each other, it's the hardest mental sport.
True.
There's such a talk about the importance of approach, mental preparation for baseball. Um, I think that anything could impact somebody, and that is a big shift to go from I go out, I come in, I go out, I come in, and it's
Mm-hmm.
been talked about before about DHs
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
understanding. Yeah, it's different. Like okay,
And
I go bat and then I go sit down and then
a
yeah,
lot of guys have had a transitional period to that. Like they'll have a season where like a guy's normally it's something you give to a guy who's maybe on his last couple years in the league. He's running out of stamina to play the game. And like Giancarlo Stanton was the guy that you saw the Yankees really transition him because in 2022 is his last full year, or 21 was his last full year playing the field. 2022 he did a little bit of half. He was an all-star in left field. That was in LA. And then 2023 he did half, and then 24 straight DH. And it's like something that you gradually build to. So I can see it. It's like that's hard to go boom DH. That's a tough. I think that's hard, man. That can really jack up your entire mindset of how you play the game. Personally, I think, but
I think
it's a
so.
big
I think
story right now.
it's a learning curve. It's also super early, right? Uh, I mean, the magical thing about baseball and stats is that like one great stretch can change like everything for a player, this especially this early, right? Like he could go 10 for his next 20 and then he's batting 300, right? So he could go just 5 for his next 15 and he would that would put him at 250, right? Like
Yeah,
what is he over? Yeah. So I mean,
he's 0 for 16 at this point.
yeah. So I mean, it's a very 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 small sample size, but I don't know if I mentioned this when we talked about the Red Sox earlier. When you bring in all these new guys, and I think I don't know if it was the Yankees or who we were talking about, but I tried to sum this up. When you bring in a bunch of new guys, it takes a little while to gel.
To gel.
Like,
Yeah, that's very
yeah,
true.
you don't know how these guys are
A
going to
lot of
play with each
egos. Yeah,
other.
a lot of
Yeah,
egos. Yeah,
bounce
personality
off each
mixes. Yeah.
other. Yeah, that's why the Phillies have like such a remarkable opportunity. It's the same guys. Like
Yes. Yeah.
you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about you don't have to worry about like how are these guys gonna be together day to day for 6 months? Like they've done it for 3 years
These guys
now.
have been
So
playing together. Yeah.
yeah. There's a I think it's highly underrated thinking about the clubhouse culture and how guys fit in. Like, is this the right guy I should bring in? How is he gonna gel, mesh? Uh, the Red Sox need some time for that and go back to let's wait it out and see what happens. They could turn it on, right?
Yeah. So let's look at now kind of moving away from Devers because they were touted like when they started making all these big moves. Like that's two really big pitchers. Walker Buehler had a great season with the Dodgers. He only pitched half of it because he was hurt. He had a lot of injuries the last 2 years really, but really showed out. And honestly, he was really just playing for this year how much money he was going to get or where he was going to go because we knew the Dodgers were probably going to make an offer and they actually didn't, which was surprising. But again, he was pretty much playing for this year. Like whatever he did was going to be pretty much a showcase to clubs on what he was going to do. Crochet was a guy who wanted the fuck out of Chicago, wanted way far away from Chicago. He wanted out like mid-year, but I think his whole thing was there was a lot of negotiation deals where he was like, I don't want to pitch in the playoffs, or I want to pitch in the playoffs. I think that it was something like that. There was contingencies on if he got left, and the White Sox were just like, we're not going to fuck with this right now. It's just not going to happen. But Boston went out and got him, great pitcher as well, kind of a funky delivery guy. And then the big one, which I still think the Astros should have bid a little bit harder for him, was Alex Bregman, who was a really big free agent this year. So they went out and got 3 big pieces like that. Were supposed to solidify this team that on paper should have been good. And look at this. So they only have as a total, they have, besides Jared Duran, he's the only guy who's got 6 hits. And then Christian Campbell, like I said, who kind of, rookies really tearing it up. Everybody else has, and Bregman, obviously, but everyone else is dismal, bro. Like, it's just not a lot. You got Wilyer Abreu batting 600, so he's going off. Bregman's batting 375. I'm sorry. Campbell's batting 375, Bregman batting 227, and then it goes into the zeros, like bad. I won't count this Romy Gonzalez guy because he's only got 2 at bats and he's 500. So we're not going to forget that.
It's
some of these other
early.
guys. It's early, I
early.
know. But with how much hype was behind these guys, it's like you expected them to explode and go off.
You told me that you think the Braves are going to be okay, right?
I have to say the same here. I know.
Yeah, the Braves were ranked number 3 or 4, right? Coming in preseason rankings when we talked about it.
No, they were like 5 or 6, weren't they?
I think they were top 5 because remember we talked about it where there are 3 teams from the National League East in the top 5.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. Let's see if I can find.
So I think they might have been 4. I think it was like Phillies 2, Mets 3, Braves 4. But so think about that, right? Like Braves now, if you were to do power rankings, are probably bottom
Not
8.
very good.
Yeah. So
I mean, bro. As of this is on the Ringer. I don't know who they're affiliated with. This came out on the 26th. These guys had the Braves at 5 days ago.
Yeah, and then you said it too on this podcast that man, the Braves looked really good in spring training, right? So it's you just that's why I say spring training doesn't really matter unless injuries happen or something big happens in spring training. Once the season starts, you get to kind of see how these guys respond to things, and the Braves did not respond well to certain moments. The bullpen blew 2 of those games. Offense didn't respond in game 3 and 4. So Red Sox, right? Maybe they just haven't quite figured out their identity. And with some of these big changes, Devers going to DH, big new guy in town named Alex Bregman, Trevor Story being there for actually like full time, like
they have Connor Wong too catching.
Yeah.
They got some guys, dude.
I think they'll be fine. I think
that
the anticipation.
Listen, before you keep going, we're hoping that they tank, bro. They need to tank.
It's great for baseball if the Red Sox and Yankees are both good.
That's what's so hard because there's always, as a Yankee fan, there's so many things going. Like everyone wants the Yankees to lose, right? It's the evil empire. Everybody wants the Yankees to suck, and I love baseball as a whole, so I love to see both sides. So part of me is like, I'm like so split that I'm like, I want the Red Sox to tank so bad so that we don't have to deal with them, and it's an easy path to the World Series again. But at the same time, I'm like, but goddamn, it would be awesome to see them like rise back up. It would be really good for the game.
It would be electric if in September for their final matchup, they are both vying for a playoff spot, dude.
And you're trying to give me a heart attack, bro. Don't even like if that happens, you're like, I'll be like, no one can reach me for however long that series goes.
We'll do a live podcast during that series.
Fuck. That'd be kind of funny actually. That's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. I might do that. But yeah, so I partially like I know like it's so early and like I hate being that guy that's like, oh, they're gonna be shit because it's like impossible to tell. Like, and if you can go back 2 years when the Diamondbacks made it to the World Series, their first half was horrific. It was so bad, and they had the biggest turnaround. And again, goes back to those May, June, July, August months where they just dominated, and it just completely reversed their trajectory. So again, nothing like it's fun. Baseball's back, and it's fun talking about some of this shit like people thought were gonna go off and they didn't. But it's way too early to tell. But the Devers thing, in my opinion, 12 strikeouts, bro, is alarming. That's bad, bro. That's like you mentioned contact.
You mentioned an injury, so like that's kind of where my brain goes when a guy's that good for that long, and then suddenly something doesn't look right or uncomfortable was the word he used.
Right. So the thing with that, there was never confirmed. It was never confirmed. Cora said it in a press conference that he's dealing with the shoulder thing. But in reality, personally, I think it was something on the back end with the Bregman playing third. I'm not going to play third. I think that's what it was. No one wanted to say it. I think his agents and stuff didn't want him to sound like a bad teammate. They didn't want him to sound like he's self-centered. I really think that's what it was. I don't think there ever was an injury because I think it was more of a personal lockout thing because they didn't see him in any of those games. and they didn't want it to see like, is he holding out? Is he not agreeing with management? I think that's what it was,
We'll
personally.
never know, right? That's, but I like your guess on that, because that it really sheds some, like, remember, these guys are humans too,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
he had some issues and didn't like the results of Bregman coming there and the decisions that
Yeah.
were being made. These guys
I
can be
mean,
babies too.
oh yeah. Oh, dude, come on. Have you seen Bryce Harper play, bro? He's kind of a baby sometimes. But what I'm saying, like, the point I'm trying to make is, like, if it was seriously an injury, and this is how I see it, right? You're that big of an asset to these guys. If you're like, hey, I'm hurt, they're going to be like, oh shit, we need to like put you on the IL. Let's take the time. But that never happened. And he's Devers. He was their guy, like one of their biggest hitters last year. He made Garrett Cole not even want to throw to him. So if I'm management and I'm like, are you hurt or not? Because if you're hurt, like, we need to do this the right way. And then you don't have a season like this, or at least start it off like this. So
He's
I
their
don't know.
superstar too. Superstar contract.
Yeah,
He's a
big
10,
ass
10-year
contract,
guy.
bro. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So that's why I'm kind of like, it's
It
just kind of confusing.
it is alarming to strike out 12 out of 16 plate appearances. You know,
Yeah,
like I said,
yeah,
if he goes 5 for his next 15, he's suddenly batting 240.
yeah. I know it's
So,
a
I mean,
complete flip.
yeah.
But we'll see. So moving away from the Red Sox, I have one more topic, kind of a quick topic that segues back into, and I want to talk about the Rangers, but the Rangers don't have a whole lot. They're actually getting, Kumar Rocker was getting his shit rocked earlier by the Reds. So we'll leave that for another topic, because they have some two really young relievers that played together at Vanderbilt, Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter, whose dad is obviously Al Leiter, who's a legend, right? But they're, Jack Leiter had a great start. I think Kumar Rocker's been really rocky, so we'll save that conversation because that's something we can really analyze, right? But the guy that everyone has been waiting for, who was like on the top of baseball world 2 years ago, was Jacob deGrom, who is a flamethrower, had Tommy John surgery, sat out all of last year and a little bit of the year prior, right? Maybe was it just last year he sat? I think it was just last year he sat. Um, and he's back and digging into everything we said last time. Like I said, we can talk all day about arm care and arm injury in the stat in the kind of the era of pitching we're in right now. But he was one of the guys that said, I don't need to throw 100, because he used to run it up there 101, 102 if he needed it. But now he's sitting 95 to 97. And he had a great outing. He shoved. It was perfect. It's exactly what everybody was expecting him to do. What do you think about that? Is that just pitching smart, or is he not the Jacob deGrom? Because there's two ways people are leaning. Is he not? Is he a different Jacob deGrom, or is he just a smart Jacob deGrom? What do you think?
I hope it's the latter, because I remember him being stubborn about it, where
True. True.
people said it for a long time because of his track record of injuries.
Yeah.
Just take some off, man.
Stay within
You can,
yourself. Yeah.
yeah, you can ramp up when you need it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Roger Clemens style, Pedro style, right? Like, I can, if I need it, I can go to it, right? Greg
Yeah.
Maddux was really big
Mm-hmm.
on that.
Yeah.
And I really hope it's the latter, that he's being smarter and that it's not indicative of he can't get there anymore.
It seems like that's what it is, honestly, seeming from what the quotes I read today.
I hope not, because, and also that would be extremely rare. Like, for a guy that can touch 100 with ease, it wasn't like he threw 100 of
Oh,
every
and he was
one pitch.
like everything's coming, right? Yeah. It was
It
very
was
smooth.
a smooth 100, more than like 8 to 10 times in an outing
Oh yeah.
type
Oh
of
yeah.
vibe, right? So, like, I don't see that being a thing where, unless there's just like the surgery didn't fully take and like the strength and conditioning went
True.
off, or
True.
maybe age. But
Mm-hmm.
I personally think it's that he's choosing not to.
I think that's a smart way to go about it. He's getting up there in age. He's what, 30? How old is Jacob deGrom? He's older, isn't he?
He should be 33 or
33?
4. 33 or 4 would be my guess.
6, bro. He's 36.
36. Wow. See, back to my thing earlier in Hector Neris, right? Like, oh, I remember Hector Neris in 2019.
He's on, yeah, because he's about there with Matt Harvey. Because remember, him and Matt Harvey were in that rotation. Which Matt Harvey, we should do like a what happened to Matt Harvey? We're druggy.
God, yeah.
Dude, he had so much. That just hurts my heart. I don't even want to talk about Matt Harvey. But again, he was with that legendary run forever ago with New York,
Yes.
which puts him up in there
Noah
with that age
Syndergaard.
bracket. Yeah, that whole dude, that was Steven Matz. That was a fucking staff. But again, so he's up there in age. So I think this may be a thing where maybe people sat down with him and were like, "Look, Jake, we know you can do it, but if you want to keep playing this game, like for another 4 years, like you want to pull a Verlander, you're gonna have to take it. You're gonna have to take it down a notch."
Well, so,
Yeah, I really think that's what it is.
a guy his age has to ask himself. You have to have these moments in any life, but especially for a professional athlete, kind of like that come to Jesus or look in the mirror moment.
Yeah.
What do I want to be at age 36? You really only have three options, in my opinion. It's like, I'm going for the Hall of Fame, and so
Hmm.
it's all individual. I'm gonna just make my money, right? Which again is all individual. Or I want to win.
Right. Yeah.
So and then I guess a fourth one, I just want to keep playing.
Right.
So whichever one it is, you got to stay on the field, buddy. And the best way to stay on the
If
field is to,
yeah.
yeah, take some off and pitch.
Yeah.
You're
If I'm
stuck.
him, I'm like, I want to win and I want to play as long as I can possibly
So,
play.
so yeah, two of those four reasons. If that's the case, then yeah, take some off. And dude, I
I
want to see you on
dominate.
the mound. I want to see you on the mound in October. I don't want to see you
Dude.
on the mound in April. I don't care about April. I want to
Yeah.
see you on the mound in October.
And then your ex
Right.
for all summer. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I think. But I think that if he can keep this up, because he looked real good, bro. On it was Saturday he pitched, yeah. Because Eovaldi had the opening. Yeah, Saturday. Yeah, I mean, dude, he looked fucking good. He looked good. He looked like old Jacob deGrom just without 101. And I think that still plays. That still plays
Imagine,
really well.
imagine, game one or two of ALDS or CS, Jacob DeGrom versus Aaron Judge at the plate, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
that's stuff you want to see, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Not
yeah.
as no offense to Texas Rangers fans, not necessarily wanting to see the Rangers versus Yankees, right? But that matchup would be awesome.
Yeah, I would. So
Yeah.
lots. There's a lot, man. It's a lot. And we didn't even. You know what's funny? We didn't even touch on half the shit that happened over the. We could sit here all day and talk about everything that happened over the weekend because it's opening weekend. But I think like there's just so much, and there's so much coming, dude. There's so much coming. And DeGrom, like there's so many great pitchers. And I told you going back to the Braves, dude. I'm super hyped for Strider to come back. I love watching him pitch.
Me too. I really like him. He reminds me of a mixture of John Smoltz and there's someone else. I'll have to save that for next time, I guess. But like,
Yeah, yeah.
he's just fun to watch because he's not a big guy, and
No, but he's got
he
fucking
just
tree trunk legs though, dude.
yeah. Oh yes,
Got
he
his
does.
legs, bro. Holy shit. Got
Hey,
some fucking
what's
tree
what's
trunks.
bigger, BJ's biceps or Spencer Strider's legs?
I don't know, dude.
shout,
Fuck.
shout out to one of our teammates,
Big BJ,
Byron.
dude. Yeah, he's a monster. But honestly, like it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, that's all we had for today, right? That's all we got. I had a couple more. We kind of dwindled it down. We wanted to keep it within a reasonable time frame today. I think we
Yeah,
did. We did a good job today.
yeah.
We kept it.
57 minutes.
We kept it concise. It was solid. But I'll give you the last. Anything else you want to leave the people with? I honestly think we should do a second one this week, bro. We should do it
I'm
like on
down.
Wednesday or Thursday. Wednesday
Yeah,
or
I'm down.
Thursday. We'll get another one out because there's so
Let's
much
do
happening
it.
right now. And all the day one starters are going to pitch probably tomorrow or Wednesday.
Should
So
be
that'd be
Wednesday.
good.
Yeah.
Because Zach Gallen had a bad start. Like a lot of guys that didn't pan or didn't do well. Walker Buehler didn't do well. Like a lot of pitchers didn't have the great. This is a redemption shot. So I'm kind of
And
like, this could be
and
more to talk
Rodon
about.
looked great. So
Shit,
is he not going to look great his second start? We'll see.
I was at the gym
Remember
watching every pitch.
my hot take.
I know.
I get a +1 for that.
Yeah, you do. But I was honestly, anytime that dude steps on the mound, bro, I'm like,
I called it. I told you 5 innings, 2 or less runs, and the
he did
dude,
good. He
dude
did
delivered.
good. He did good. I'll give you that. Stroman didn't do bad either. Did okay. He pitched like Marcus Stroman. So whatever.
Hey, you were panicking before the season. I was like, Braves are looking good, and now we have flip flopped
We
4
flipped.
games, 4 games in.
Ask me again in a couple weeks, and we'll see where we're at. But all right,
But
man. Last thoughts to you.
last thoughts. I'm gonna end how we began. The torpedo bat. Baseball is one of the most innovative sports I've ever seen. Moneyball, data, metrics, StatCat, like it has evolved so much in just my lifetime that if this thing can help players have an edge and it's not like a drastic type cheating thing, which I don't believe it is, guys, there's always been innovation in baseball. And 9 guys in a lineup, all of them have different preferences on type of wood, length of bat, weight of bat.
Every bat is different. Every bat is
So just let it ride its course. And that's a good theme for all our topics. Let the season run its course.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of there with you on that. I mean, the thing is, like, and this is because I was listening to a couple other podcasts when I was at the gym today. It's like people are bitching and complaining, oh, this not fair. This pitcher for the Brewers complaining, but you still got to hit it.
Soft.
You still got to hit it, though. I mean, you
Yes.
still got to make contact. You got to hit it good. If it's going to be a bomb, you got to you got to hit it square. You got to like
Yep.
perfect that shit.
It may
Like,
give you
come
more
on, dude.
forgiveness, but it's not going to give you a bomb
No,
every time. Yeah.
come on, bro. But
Yeah.
yeah, so once again, guys, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. Me and Jake definitely appreciate it. Be sure to follow us on socials, Instagram and TikTok. I don't post on Twitter. And then obviously like, subscribe, all that shit on YouTube. We really appreciate it. Like we said, we're going to try to get a second one out. We're going to try to get a second one. What you got?
Can I say happy birthday, Mom? It's my mom's
There you go.
birthday
It's your
today.
mom.
So,
Hey, happy
yeah.
birthday to Miss Balderram. There you go. Look at that.
Yep.
Look at that. Shout out to her, right? Well, happy birthday, right? Happy birthday. Was it today?
It's today. Yeah.
It's today. Okay. All right. You said y'all went to dinner on, I guess you go to dinner on Saturday. It makes more sense, right?
Yeah. So
fair enough. Well, happy birthday. But yeah, be sure to follow us, like, subscribe, comment. If you want to talk shit to us, like, say we're stupid. I always say that, bro. Talk. If you got something you don't agree with, like, comment, right? Comment. We'll talk to you.
I love a discussion. A lot of this is opinion, and we try to I try to back things up with facts or stats, right? But it's opinion, and I love
everyone's
Yeah.
got different takes on this shit, right? So be sure to comment. Like I said, we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it.